Because, like I said, what they did is they took everything from the Jesus days and God and how they were trying to do something. You know, they were trying to get people from not sinning, and they were trying to get people who were sinning not to be sinning, not to be doing that anymore. That was Jesus's mission. His mission was to bring people from that kind of life and not to be ruining life, but to be making a better life. See, but what they did here is they took everything from the God and Jesus days, and they just made it into watching people and saying that you got your heaven and your hell, when these people are the ones who are just watching everyone and using the Bible and Jesus's and God's name, you know, because it wasn't about watching people ruining their life. You know, that's why they destroyed those cities of those people, because they were doing a lot of bad stuff that they shouldn't have been doing. So they destroyed those cities because, they say about free will and everything, but obviously there's certain things that they're not going to allow, you know, and they're not going to be letting people living and sinning like that, and they're not going to be watching that stuff happening and people living like that, you know. So obviously there is that that they're not allowing that, even though they say there's free will and all that, you know. But this is what, it's really about controlling people, like always. But there is no watching people ruining their life and living like they are. You know, it was all about making a better life and enjoying it, and making it so people could live and not be ignorant. But they want everyone ignorant, though. See, that's their issue, is that they want everyone ignorant, so it's not threatening them. But that's their issue, is that they need to grow up themselves, and there's no devil work. It's about making a better life. It's about making a correct life. It's about making a life that you can enjoy, and working all this stuff out. But what has happened here? They've taken all this stuff, and a lot of things are wrong that you think you read in the Bible. People need to understand what's actually going on. That there was a mission, and the things that were done. And about the only begotten Son. God had more sons. Jesus was not the only son. Jesus was the Father of God or whatever, and that's why it was the only way through him, because that was his dad. That was his father or whatever. You know, and he had more sons. Which is also written in their names and everything, and how they didn't get crucified though. That's why it says his only begotten Son, because Jesus was the only one who got crucified. None of his other sons did. So that's why it's written like that. He was not the only son. He was the only son who got crucified, and that on his mission. You understand? But he died doing his mission, which was trying to, yeah, he loved everyone, but yet he was there to do a mission, and he was there to get the sinners not to sin anymore, if possible, or the people to not to be sinning, or not be, and to be living a better life. And that's why they crucified him, because the people who were using these people were using them. So that's why he got crucified. You understand? And they made it all into a story or whatever. But y'all gotta understand the real reality of it, and the real truth and the mission, that it was and there's a lot of stuff that you still need to understand and get corrected here. So I just wanted to say that. Bye.